Oh,
All right, I did change a few things around on the agenda. So we'll start first with the nominations for chairperson. We do not have Rex here yet, so can we do that?
Yes.
Okay,
have we heard from Rex?
I haven't heard anything. Nominations are now in order for chairperson.
Susan, you're gonna call him, Susan? Find out where he's at? You don't say? No. She said he was going to.
Yeah, I see that.
See where-
At one.
It's up. It is.
101.
All right, well, I'd like to make a motion that, if you don't mind stealing again, just everything stay the same.
I'll second.
So nominations cease, then you will now be the chairperson. Thank you for that. And then you can take over the meeting.
Okay, vice chair. Now, how can we do this, Steve, with only me here?
Well, we took you.
Yeah, there's
You can
still two.
nominate.
Okay,
Well, but my motion was for everything to stay the same.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
That was,
we've
Okay.
actually done it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I didn't hear that, I didn't hear one.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I said. It's just everything stayed the same.
I thought you meant it, but that's okay.
okay. We need to do oaths of office.
Who needs to get sworn in?
I think it's you, Dawn, and
Not you?
you, Dawn, and not me. Treasurer,
Janice.
Janice left.
Okay.
Mhm.
Would you please?
Sure, that'd be awesome, thank you.
You don't want these?
I like it after I used to.
So that's very nice of these ones. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, and then Janice.
We're gonna get John sworn, do our two together, right?
Yeah,
We used to do all of them together.
Yeah.
We used to all stand up.
Chris, swear at you.
oh, geez.
Right, so, we're gonna read this, okay?
Okay.
You're gonna read this as we go, okay? So you say aye.
I,
Janice Bonner,
Dawn Cable,
You solemnly swear,
do solemnly swear
keep reading,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota, and that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform all the duties as appointed.
and you say your office, as treasurer.
as Buffalo County Treasurer.
Commissioner of Buffalo County, South Dakota, as provided by law.
Okay, and you're gonna sign that, and I'm gonna notarize it, okay?
Okay.
Want somebody to sign it first, good? Hard spot.
I
How
know
many
you
years?
would like complaints
We
about
need
the
to-
auditor, but she sent this paper out.
How many-
This don't.
Oh, how many years you been doing this, Sharon?
Since 89.
89, 25?
90.
My point is,
Aye.
are
Thank
these
you.
numbers right? I know what she did here, she was then fill in some spaces, but why send stuff like that
And you
out?
think we're gonna read that chicken scratching?
That's why I printed the whole signature to signature.
My addition isn't right, is that what it is?
Mhm.
No.
You forgot to fill in some blanks.
Okay. I can go back to work now?
You can work.
How did she- She must have got that through Rex.
You wrote,
I
you
had it
sent
sitting out
it,
here, I had it sitting out here waiting for her. So, perfect.
the same one?
Yeah.
She requested it, and you sent it
I sent it to you guys.
our email. That don't matter, it's still wrong. What's wrong?
Oh, you're
When we
right.
get back on
I
agenda.
will make sure to do that.
Okay, we did the
It's business.
oath of
Not
office.
according to the agenda.
I need a motion to accept the agenda.
I'm a-
There's a correction, between 13 and 14. We just received the Rural County jail contract. And we'll need to, take care of that today.
You want to amend it to talk about anything? Now's the time to amend it.
I will-
Thing, is there
I'll
a deal-
amend my thing. I will make sure to double check the figures and make sure Susan has that.
Well, everybody should. Is Tommy, did he get a hold of anybody?
Yes, I know.
Tommy, who?
Thompson from the,
You have an email? Don will talk about it here.
I got it, an email. I emailed.
okay, so that because they wanted money in.
I
But that
got
was
it
in
right
here already.
Okay, good enough.
I had it on the agenda before this.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was on the agenda. So you want to amend the agenda, or are you all right with it? You made the motion.
No, it's funny.
Okay, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Need to approve the minutes from December 26th fiscal meeting.
I'll move that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed, thank you. Public input. Okay, and then we'll move on. Highway superintendent, Tim.
Cold. No, they just did some blading, worked on some equipment, FEMA stuff, federal aid relief. Working on the mine site, we gotta be updated every year. Working on a new grant. iPad came through, what is it, First Net or whatever it's called. Got it through them.
Is that a thing?
No, it's through First Net, so it's cheaper for, it's like for a lot of first responders and police.
Will it go through FEMA money though?
Yeah, FEMA's paying for this, that's why I got it. Got it approved to get paid through those guys, 'cause
They usually have a list of approved vendors, so the vendors on there, I'm sure. Otherwise, after it's above a certain price, we go out for bids, right?
oh,
It was just a little over 1,000,
$1,000.
Oh, we're-
1,200 something, I think.
So what are the grants you're going after?
One's for a road and they just might
Through
be a
the
stretch,
state?
just say I'm
Through
working
through
on
the
some
state,
grants.
through the state?
No,
No.
federal.
The federal.
And let's see, I said mine sites and we started working on the spray truck, getting that skid built, put in the back end of it, and dump. So that's what they're working on now and there ain't no snow plow.
Are they gonna start hauling off that, Union Township Road?
Yeah, it'll either be the end of this week, first of next. They said the end of this week, but that means,
Right, okay,
So how do you follow the township road?
they're gonna,
it's from the disaster. There's a bunch in the waterway, about, I don't know, what is it, 6,500 cubic yards to move out of there.
Is that one down
Yep.
by the county line? That one as well.
We'll start that, and the surveying's all done, for them 3 mitigation sites. That's done, they're doing some testing yet, so you'll still see them around, but it's a different crew. H&H testing and stuff like that, but surveying's all done anyway, so. And that's about it.
Here's this.
Oh, fuel bed, sorry. Unleaded 274, ethanol's 250, number one's 290, and two's 268.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
So is it because of the size of our tank that we can only get one beer? We used to get a couple.
Part of it's between the location, part of it's the size of the tank.
fella I get gas from says he ain't gonna bid against other people for something like this.
So small. That won't piss people off because of the, it's not like
When they got all,
I know.
Right.
Just asking, because remember, we used to get like 3 bids, I mean, you
There
know.
was 2 when I first started, we had for a while, but it's been 1 for quite a while.
It has.
CHS will, but they want really big, they want big tanks and
Right.
containments, and I kind of priced it out.
It won't make,
The containment is what actually kills you on them. They're extremely expensive, way more than a tank.
How are we on the, I don't want to say security of it or certification of it, are we
Yeah, we're good.
okay? All right, well, that's all that matters.
thank you. DOE and weed supervisor Lee.
Okay. Here the last few days, we printed the tax notices or the tax bills rather. And we're kind of going through and double checking those. And we got the weed notice from Steve, updated printed that out. That goes in with it as it has in the past. So we're getting that going, double check a few more addresses, make sure everything's right and move on there. Also, I have the Weed and Pest, 26th Annual Weed and Pest Conference. That's February 19th through 21st in Huron. And I have a bunch of those here for anyone that want to attend or
How many do we need to have attend?
2.
Okay.
Not for all of it though.
Okay.
So here and again, February 19th through the
Now, does that, do our grants and stuff, are they contingent upon
Yes.
going to that?
yes.
Right here, on there, don't say required. And we've been in, well, we've been in requirement pretty much every year. They put me on this thing except for a couple when we didn't have a weed supervisor. and we stepped in.
Right.
We're contingent compliant.
So this one, I think, see, our noxious weed list, that don't expire, so I think we're good there on that. So next, these reports, get those turned in. There was one November 15th that was due. Got that
Okay, so
done.
this is, I see,
Yep.
required to get grant,
Yep.
and then required to get grant.
Yep.
Okay,
What else, March, deadline was the 10. So
okay,
pretty much the same as we've done, so
okay, thank you,
that's all I have.
thank you.
Next one here is for the auditor. There were 0 hospitalizations for December, but there was just one that came through.
Right now.
Yep, so if you guys wanted to see that one,
Are we talking notices?
yep, notices. And then I also put in there, rural county just sent some for relief funds dollars in there. So those are both of those are confidential. So when you're done, if you could get that back to Steve so that I could have that back.
Two people on that one. I mean, 2 different ones on that letter.
Oh my gosh,
And they're both-
There's 2 of them and there's one right behind them.
is this the one that I felt? Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Brick buildings, so I'll stay there.
Interesting, I've never seen this.
We don't get them very often. She probably once a year is kind of when they,
Well, some of it's not like a year either, it's kind of.
Yeah.
Probably close out 2 years.
there's 2 hospitalizations on that one, so it's 2 pages.
Oh, there were 2 on there? Let's see. All I can think is fishing.
So Rex, if
That's all
you're
I
done
can
with
think
that,
of.
when you're done with that, you can make sure Steve gets that back.
I got it, it's folder right here.
Okay, I'll move on to the auditor register of deeds. That matched, it should be in your,
Yeah, it's in your file.
yeah. So, and I will get that into the minutes. And then see on there, risky benefits, I just need one other person in regards to getting that direct deposit done. So highway got it done, all of us got it done, so it'll just, I have one person left. So I think that's good to go. So I think we could move on to the, unless you have any questions regarding those. And then I'll have you maybe talk a little bit about the Beetle and the Beetle County, the agreements for both the prison, the juvenile, and then I've added rural county contract as well. He's got them all right now.
Here on.
I looked at them, I didn't see anything new and different, prices are high. The Beetle County is juvenile only, isn't it? We don't ever, I mean, this is just a juvenile contract here, I think.
No, they have a.
Oh, they have both, they have both,
Jail
yeah,
contract.
they have both. And,
Because didn't we have to use it when, when rural county wasn't taking any?
we went to winter at one point,
Okay,
we went
when,
to winter rather than Beetle.
yeah,
Winter's a little more convenient,
that's what it was.
but you aren't gonna get them to change these, they have, basically, we're responsible for our prisoners when we go there, except if they have true negligence or something they do, okay?
So you'll need to sign the back side of that, Don, when we're done. We can just do it.
And,
Okay,
we approve them, we have to sign them and send them, the sheriff signs them, we sign them, and they sign them on the other end.
okay.
You got anything, you see anything new?
No, it's just, you know, to cover the bases. If rural county's full or don't want to accept someone, you need a contract somewhere else to
Yep.
go to, so.
So,
So is it pretty comparable to our rural county contract?
the juvenile is 325 in Beetle, and the regular is 105, which is more than Brule County. What's Brule County right now, 90?
About 80 months.
This went up.
78, something like that.
They just went up,
76 or 78, I think I read.
they just went up.
Yeah,
So Beetle's higher price, the juvenile's pretty comparable to the other one,
325.
yeah. So there's actually three contracts here.
The Huron juvenile fee is way less than Pierce. We have one at Pierce.
yeah.
We have one here, but-
Here was like 4 something, wasn't it?
All right, so there's anyway, three different things going on. That's Brule and two Beetle.
Okay, rules in there too.
Mhm.
No recommendations then, huh, Steve? Kind of go along with it anyway, right?
Do you need approval for all three commissioners to sign off on that, or do you just need us to?
Well, you need a motion to
You need a
accept the
motion.
contract and one of them to sign it.
Yeah, I need a motion to accept the Beetle County and rural county contracts,
Adult contracts.
adult and,
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the Beetle County adult and juvenile contract, as well as the Brule County contract.
Okay.
And that's for this year. That's on a yearly basis, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have a right to refuse to take anybody, they have a right to terminate the contract,
yeah,
I think within maybe a 30 or 60-day notice, I can't remember right now.
yeah,
But otherwise, it's for a year, we do these year by year.
yeah,
For
it's
the
January 1 to
2025 year.
December 31st.
Okay,
So,
yeah, put that on this one.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
No.
Radio training. Arlen, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I sure can. So Tommy and I have been talking, with the P25 changeover we went over the last couple of years, it's really tough to find radio companies that'll come in and program the radios in a timely fashion. They still do it, but they're so backlogged, they just can't get out here and do it. And then the price of it, it's $150 a radio, you can touch it, mileage if they come out here, and then you're at their, whenever they can get to them. So I've been doing it up in Han County for 5 years now. Basically took it upon myself to start learning. I've had some help along the way from some other people. And there is a training available to us from the state radio, first part of February, that Tommy and I would like to attend and learn how to program their Motorola radio, which is a pretty common radio that we do a lot of programming on. And we're asking if we can use some 911 funds to help cover the cost of what's going to that.
There are only 2 certified trainers in the state, right?
There are,
From my understanding when visiting with Tommy.
right, so the state is actually teaching us. The radio companies don't want us to know
Right.
because it's money out of their pocket. So, yeah, so this is, very few of these are offered. In fact, part of these are the first ones that have been offered throughout my career. They'll actually teach us.
When we talked to Jason last week, he said that our 911 funds could pay for half of it.
Yeah.
And Jason just sent an
I
email.
got an email from Jason, Marvin, in the case of you and Tommy, I would approve the use of 911 funds for 50% of all costs associated with the training. This includes the tuition and any other costs directly related to the training, such as travel, lodging, etc. One of the primary reasons for this is with Buffalo County and Crow Creek's current project on routing 911 to Winter. We will need significant work to ensure Winter's PSAP can communicate with responders in both Buffalo, Crow Creek, Fort Thompson. Having 2 programmers in the area will significantly reduce overall costs. Additionally, I feel it would be beneficial to have a programmer associated with the county and another with the associated tribe. This will ensure continuity with programming communication. It will ultimately be the decision of each county's approval mechanism. If the county approves the use of funding for this training, I'm approving the use of 911 funds for 50%. Since you are the primary for 2 counties, 50% of your training could be paid by Buffalo County 911 and 50% could be paid by Han County 911. In Tommy's case, 50% could be paid from Buffalo County. The remaining would need to be paid from BIA tribal funds due to the overlap with Buffalo County. Jason Husby, State 911 Coordinator. This is one of the only other things that we can use the 911 money for.
I can forward that to you too, Linda.
The class is $750 per student for just the class fee, and then whatever the rooms, you can get state rates at, I think it's 107 now, so you're looking at, it's a 3-day class, so you're looking at 2 nights at least, depending on if you want to go the night before. The class starts, it starts at 8, so it depends on how far you want to travel in the morning.
Where's it at?
Pier. It'll be held at the Nicholson Valley, where they have police academy and stuff like that. So this class we're going to now is specifically for Motorola's. In the future, they'll have one for Bendix King, which is another brand that's popular around here in Kenwood. So there'll possibly be some other ones that will be able to go and learn.
What are our radios? Are they
We have a
Motorola's?
mix. We have all three of them.
They're what?
We have all three of those radios.
Oh, okay.
Very few of the Bendix Kings, but I would say right now, half and half, Motorola and then Kenwood.
And then Tommy, did Tommy help you get some radios too?
No, these are all through the radios that I got were donated by other counties in the region. So Potter County, Edmonds County offered up some older radios that they were no longer using that were good for the P25. And then the new ones came through the Homeland Security grant. So there's 13 of them. But I've been working with Tommy on frequencies and talk groups and stuff. We're getting it figured out. So we should be, when the winter thing goes through, we should be pretty much good to go. We have a little more work to do, but
Yeah. I mean, it is progressing. It's not fast by any means. We visited 10 days ago. They're still working with their city attorney because that is done through the city, not the county in winter. So trying to get it all, and I know they're reaching out to the tribe and Tommy and working with them also. Trying to, yeah, they do it with Laura Brule and Cheyenne and Pine Ridge. And
I understand, Craig, I talked to Tommy yesterday, and I think today he was talking with some of the members of the tribe that he needed to about the PSAP change to winter and stuff.
We did that yesterday.
Yesterday,
We got approved for a public safety building too. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, so Tommy originally called me and asked me if I was going for this, and I said no, because I didn't budget for the class price. So I wasn't planning on going to it. I just figured I'd figure it out like I have with the rest of it. But he did do the legwork with State 911 about the funding.
yeah,
He was unable to make it today, so I kind of took over from there to help him out and finish it out.
and I know visiting with Jason, he thought, we couldn't cover it all, but he thought he could get half of it funded, which in my opinion is a good deal.
I figured out over this whole process, over the last 5 years, I've saved Han County, not just the county alone, but altogether, the county, all the fire departments, EMS, and law enforcement, close to $20,000 in programming fees over this process, just by having to do it myself.
Now you have that certification behind you, so
What's that?
because now you have the certification behind you, so that'd be a good way of raising funds too.
Yeah,
I am doing some of that for some other fire departments, but it is down on my list of things to do. It's,
Well, I-
if I find some
You're
extra
busy.
time, I
You're
program
busy.
radios, but
You're busy.
do I have a motion or thoughts or?
The only thought I
Well,
asked, I know we need.
We already have it set up for $20,000 for you. Will that amount, will we have to do an adjustment?
No.
Or will you
no,
guys
these will
just
come
take
out of
care
your
of it?
911.
This will come out of our 911 account.
Half.
Half of it,
Right, half of it,
The other half is being paid for by hand, then, right?
By our 911 funds.
yes.
And then hopefully Tommy can come up with the rest from whether it's.
What would be the other half? What's the total on this so far?
Well, Buffalo, roughly with travel and the class, it's like,
$500?
well, your total is gonna be $750 for the class
A piece.
a piece.
1,500 plus 300, yeah.
Say 400 for rooms, so roughly 1,000 a person. I mean, and that's on the high side. So. But if we can save having to get somebody in here and hoping to get them in here to turn to,
Certainly.
It'll speed up 911 probably.
yes,
Well, right now, there's 13 brand new radios that I'm doing. If we take that times 150 is what we'd get charged for programming them, if we had the radio company. do it. So that's over $1,000 we've saved on that.
Some of the 2,000 half of it. Okay.
Well, I'll move for two. Is that what we're looking for, two individuals to go training?
Well,
I'd like to see more, but
Well, I think Tommy had one other person in mind on his side of things. I'd be the only one from ours that would need to do it.
Okay.
And then, but I don't, he had to get going on a ambulance now, so we kind of got cut short on what we were talking about, so.
I know he did tell me he had two, but I just didn't know what,
And I know, I just got the email from the state radio, and both him and I are on the list for classes. I don't know who the third person is, so I don't know if he's on there.
he told me what his name was too, and I can't remember.
So I'll have to call him on the
All
way
right,
over.
so,
Maybe he'll call me back after his meetings.
well, make a motion that they want to attend. Go ahead and go. For radio, state radio.
Tommy's gonna get the money from the tribe, or we gotta pay? Get
He'll
this
have to-
straight, but.
He'll have to come up with the other 50%. So the 911 funds will cover half of his and half of mine.
And then he's gonna.
And if he has a third or
right.
a second
He's got a
person from
budget.
that side, they can.
So then the other half, the tribe or whatever, will.
Got a budget.
I'm able to use mine from Hand County to cover it because I do 2 counties.
Yeah. So we can use half of our 911 funds to take care of Arlen. So,
And half a ton,
And half of Tommy's.
and half a ton.
And then half of the.
Tommy's gonna try to get
Right.
his other half from.
right,
Is that how you moved?
I just said I gave him permission to go. He didn't,
I'd say 2 Arlen and Tommy.
okay.
Second.
okay, so you amended my motion.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
I'll make
You
my
went to
own
training, you would
motion.
know, oh, then,
I'll make my
well,
own
then that's,
motion.
oh, you're learning, see, now if you want, you know, go ahead.
I move we pay for Arlen and Tommy schooling, radio training. And if Tommy has a replacement, we could pay, if something happens. Okay,
You need a second.
Second that.
just explain it.
I hear you.
All in favor?
Well, here, explain about that tower. I think somebody said someday we want to meet that.
Okay,
tower.
let's bring that up next month.
That's not on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda.
It was just an explanation of, I am just saying, talk about radios. okay?
Right,
Okay, that radio station that we use, the fire department uses, Wayne uses it, it would be very beneficial to keep that radio tower. In
Okay.
fact, we did a lot of switches to the state system, which that doesn't include that one, that's your old system here. But you don't have that redundancy either, so if the state system goes down, the digital system is a way more expensive system. Just in radios alone, there's $1,000 to $1,200 difference in the radios. So I know there's been talk about whether or not you need it. The fire department uses it regularly. That's their talk around channel. Every time they talk on the radio, that's the one.
Can other counties get onto that station, or is that just our station?
It's just yours.
See?
So it's your county.
So they come in here and then they can't communicate because you know what, we got outdated tower.
I wouldn't say it's outdated. It's
Okay,
just they're on VHF, so you have control over those frequencies. So you decide who gets to have it. And then like Hand County, we have UHF, yours is a VHF, ours don't mix. But our state radios, we have your channel in ours so that we can talk to you guys when we come down to hell.
so
we
can
can-
you talk with the tribe too? Because when you say us, we're talking 2 different areas.
No, I don't, because they have not given me the ability to talk on their channels, on their VHF. or
So
their-
does the tribe and this tower talk?
They'd have to ask for it.
No?
but it-
Well, so then the only one that really utilizes is people here. The vast majority of the people that live here.
Right, the tribe has to,
Tribe's got their own, I understand that.
they have their own channels.
Which is digital. I understand.
So I do have those channels and they are in the new radio, so they are able to talk back and forth. But I
But
don't have
not through
the,
the tower.
but I don't have the ability to give, one, I can't give them the ability to use your frequencies until I'm given the authorization to do so.
And you know
And
the process there.
Two, they have to have somebody program it because I'm not allowed to touch their stuff, so.
You
I
know
don't
the
think it'd be a
process,
problem.
and you know the process of the federal government, even worse than ours, so. You may have started eating.
It'd probably be a lot easier with the tribesmen versus the BIA.
Well, that's why we're trying to get that.
I think that's one of the reasons Tommy wants this class, is so that we can get that done.
I agree with you.
I think next month we need to revisit it because we were made a lot of promises that never got fulfilled.
And would you please see that, that insurance adjuster, the one that couldn't get in that door, gets in there?
Still can.
Well, then,
That was
Get it
one of the
then.
promises.
that was one, because we don't know what is in there.
That was one of the promises.
So just for instance, we have 5 of these towers in Hand County. And that's what we need to cover the whole county. We also have digital channels as well, just like the rest of us. There's unique issues with both talk groups. When you look at analog, it'll penetrate buildings. So if Wayne has his radio and at my on, we can hear it through the walls. With the digital system, the state system, all it'll do is sit here and beep at us, tell them they can't reach the tower because it's blocked by the building. So in a perfect world, one radio system would work, would be great. But the reality is it doesn't work for us. We gotta have both.
Not our area.
But the tower will be used for several years, the way I understand.
This area, this area,
Well,
this area.
So what you wanted to add the Abernathy Legion and
Please.
that little room.
Yes,
So
On
we're
that,
spending
okay.
money on that for this one, we need to
Okay.
spend that on the other side too.
please.
Go.
Moving on, set rates, boards and contracts for legal place for holding foreclosure sales. Currently, it's at Gun Valley.
And I think last time we just kind of went through all of it. You made a motion for all of it at the end.
Right.
You can
Right.
also remove I and J because you've already done that.
You'll bunch it together.
Okay, our official newspaper currently is Central Dakota Times. Right now, we've got a letter from Deb.
Did we get any other kind of requests?
There really isn't
I
any.
know. Well, remember,
Official,
one guy came from Washington Springs.
official depository currently is Coin Bank.
You okay with that?
Domestic abuse funds,
You guys see those
Yeah.
funds, and yeah, same with the indigenous.
it's veteran services.
But the domestic abuse funds, does that go to Project Safe?
I believe so. When we get a,
Then I think that's what we put on here.
Veteran
Unless it has to be
services,
and nobody's asked for any changes in regards to
No.
that, so.
SDSU,
We have a contract with him though, right?
Yeah.
That guy from
Yes,
Brewer County?
and I have really heard very nice things about him.
Well, he's a good guy. So.
Jim?
Yeah,
That's good, Jim.
so how long does our contract run, do you remember? It's not yearly,
I'd
is
have
it?
to get it and find
I
it.
don't know that.
Okay,
I don't know that.
well, you haven't heard through the grapevine, everything's going okay?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything.
Oh, when I do here, talk to.
Corner, Hickey, we did go up last year due to the increase.
So did he say he was interested again, or
Yes.
is he backing out
No.
again?
No,
And he did get that check.
yeah, he still is.
Because Diane Inch was interested too.
He calls me every time he's gonna be gone. So, which isn't very often. So,
So do we have a backup one then? We used to have a backup one, didn't we? Because remember Jack was part of that at one time?
Yeah, we have on occasion had a backup, but we don't know. Because of training and stuff, it's hard to do now.
who does Brewer counties?
I don't know if they have a backup.
Well,
I mean, he does a regular, but I don't know if they have any kind of backup.
yeah. Steve Manger is at Lyman, I know
Is
that.
he?
Yeah, Steve's the corner over there. Cause I was visiting with him the other day on this 911 stuff.
Yeah.
So, election precincts and polling places.
Yeah, I
I'd like
think
to
it
not
might-
change those, but I would like on the mileage.
Oh, mileage, sorry.
I-
state rate is 0.655.
What's your state rate?
6 cents over the state rate.
That's 6 cents.
Be 71.55.
Wasn't sure. Thanks.
Election peak precincts and polling places. Current Buffalo County Courthouse, Fort Thompson Catholic Hall, and the Crow Creek Community Hall.
I'd say stay the same, and the reason we have to do that is if there's like the school board election or some other type of elections that come through, because obviously we won't be having much for elections this year, but that would be the preferred place to have if something was worth it.
I quit there and make a motion on those
Right.
items.
Can I get a motion to accept the state set rates, boards, and contracts for
All the items under
all
50.
the,
A to L.
yep,
I'll move to accept.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Appointment boards and designation. Planning and zoning, current Rex Astro, Alan Fagan, Jack Abernathy, Clayton Knitling, and Linda Matz. Weed and Pest Board, current Danita Loudner, Lee Sinke, Rich Coleman, Jeff Fagan, Brian Loudon, Rodner, and Dana Duvall. Landfill Board, Don Cable. Mental Health Board, Beach Cook, Carol Graven, Susan Horace. District 3, current Danita Lounder. Drainage Board, current Buffalo County Commissioners. Can I get a motion?
Can I ask a question
Yes,
first?
ma'am.
So Susan, how many times does your mental health board meet? Pardon? How many times does your mental health board meet? You don't? Pardon? Your mental health board doesn't meet when they do those transports down to, Chamberlain? Huh?
There's two systems. There's one, an emergency system where they
Yeah.
don't meet. And then
Okay.
there's the other one where they do meet. They rarely have the meeting one. They usually have an emergency one.
So each signs off on them approving whether or not they go?
Yeah, and then they immediately, okay, here's how, kind of how the system works. When you send them down there, I
After
think in
hours?
3 days, it might be 5, they gotta do an evaluation again down there that says, do we keep them or not? Even if they say we're gonna keep them, they have another one very shortly after that, within another 7 days or something like that, that says, are we keeping them? And then I think the next one goes out for 30 days. So even if we send them, there's another immediate evaluation. Like I said, I think it's 3 days, very quick. And then there's another one that's about 7 days, and then it goes for 30 days. And then they have to do them every 30 days if they're keeping them.
And then in between there, the attorney,
Well,
or
and
the lawyer stuff.
the
that
lawyers
would be-
get appointed almost immediately. They usually aren't there for that first one, but they are often by the second one, okay?
Okay, so let's say, and that's after hours, majority of those are after hours, because otherwise
Yeah,
IHS is
weekend.
involved. Okay,
Right.
well, it doesn't happen 8 to 5. I agree, I agree.
We know.
Okay, so if the tribe, if it happens, let's say 8 to 5, IHS has got control or the school's got control, they take them down there, and then it kind of goes through.
Right.
Okay, so if it's after hours, I'm gonna say it's the same individual, though, and it's after hours and it's taken down there, that's when this board gets involved?
Not in there's an emergency way after hours that the board does not get involved.
Okay.
Okay. It is possible they have a more complex hearing and they do it. And that's when the board gets involved more, okay? I don't know if that's clear or not.
Well, kind of, because then there are times, sometimes then when you have to
Well, yes,
take them, or you know what I'm
he
saying?
has to drive them. I mean,
Or drive
oftentimes,
them, and then there was somebody else that you helped drive. I mean, I was just trying to figure out how it all happens, because I know it doesn't happen 8 to 5.
it doesn't happen easy and a lot of times the transportation is one of our biggest problems.
Yeah.
Because it's an all-day deal.
Yep, it
More than
is.
that somewhat. To drive
It
down there, you gotta hang around for a little bit and drive back.
Yeah.
And there are occasions where you gotta have 2 people. I mean, there are occasions where you're taking somebody where, for whatever, for reasons
Safety.
unstated, they say we
Safety,
want
Dave,
to.
safety.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay.
I suppose the lady, then you gotta have a lady go along.
Sometimes, yep, because if you have stuff for the bathroom, which you can well have to do on the way to Yankton from here, then if somebody needs to go to the bathroom with them at the rest area or something, there are all kinds of problems, guys. Yeah, yeah, I've actually talked to some of the women who've done that, gone along because of that.
How's the weed board? Are you having meetings? Is getting good attendance? Are you, everybody?
It's good. I mean, we have enough, for as small as it is, we have enough to make, to vote on things. So we need, what do we have, 5? So we get 3. Yep.
And enough so we can keep all of our grants.
And what I like is that we do have tribal representation bureau. They always complained about tribal land. Well, guys there, have
We've
at it.
actually got 2.
Well, Rich is part of, he's not really, but Dagry lives in
Dana.
Dana, yeah.
And Rich is part of the farm ranch or whatever.
Yeah.
Do they make it over when?
Yep.
Mhm.
Which lives by us, so yeah.
And how's your planning and zoning board?
Ready to get around.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the boards and designations?
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Oh, District 3.
Oh, yeah.
But aren't they nice?
Mhm.
They said Deb this thing about our membership, which again is another 0, okay? Probably the only one. But there is a change. I do have a job now, so I put that on. But I thought that was really nice. And I appreciate you guys take the time to come. You too, eventually. Because before we used to be on there and we'd have no representation. And that's how you get your grants, so you know what's going on. Appreciate it.
So we don't have,
We don't pay any dues.
okay,
Some of those guys
Everybody
pay.
else gets dues.
40,
That's why I put that
50,000.
thank you on there. Danita is on the board, so they,
right.
We don't pay any dues is because we're a poor county.
Yep.
And we help offset a lot of those other grants from, and all those other guys, so. But we haven't paid any dues since I've been on. Nor
Yeah.
could we afford them. Okay, that's all I have to say, sorry.
Okay, motion passed. Set, salaries. Commissioners, current, compensation, 210 for meeting, it's 210 plus mileage. Board members per diem for meetings and mileage. Highway superintendent, currently 56,000. Highway assistant, 1, 24.23 an hour. Highway assistant 2, 24.50 an hour. Sheriff 55,000. Treasurer 44,100. State's attorney 41,193. Auditor welfare 42,000. Election school auditor requesting $25 an hour plus mileage. Don't really give that?
that's what we had. I don't want to make any changes, yeah.
Okay,
Well, there's no election,
right.
so,
Election day personnel, tabulator board resolution, 25 plus mileage. Post-election office, 25 plus mileage. Register of deeds, currently part of auditor's office. Director of equalization, $21 an hour. Weed and pest supervisor, current 3,000. Weed and pest regular meeting and per diem. Weed and pest meeting away per diem.
so the regular one is when you guys come here and you have the meeting in Buffalo County. The other one is like this one that you guys are gonna go away and have to go to Huron, is that where it's
Yeah,
at?
Spearfish
So
Ranch.
there's your difference between the two.
Right.
In-house ones.
Okay.
That's also the same with the board meeting, up on B. That's if you guys were to go to
Right.
conferences or, go to the convention, those type of things.
So
So,
when I went that summer to those legislative
Yep.
meetings.
yep, so that's the difference between the two.
So is the salaries that that's current?
Yeah, this is all current.
That's Keith's. I went through and I got all my papers, I got my budgets.
And I had made a suggestion to everybody that, any of the conferences or any of the trainings that went through or anything like that. So anybody that was there, we certainly have all the documentation. If commissioners would like to see what they did during the year, so.
I want to word this right. Isn't there some, I don't want to say requirements, but highly suggested trainings that our offices are needing to have or?
Well, for this officials, you get these, and you're supposed to, but you guys are also officials, it's not mandatory, but it's strongly
Continuing
encouraged.
education,
Yeah,
that's what I
strongly
said.
encouraged that any elected official should attend those. And that new official ones and things like that are coming up shortly, so if you haven't attended those are, again, nothing's mandatory, but it's highly suggested.
So,
No, that isn't yours. This is just the elected official part of it.
Yeah, that's because your constituency is your,
Correct.
it's your grid or whatever you want.
So that would be your sheriff, Janice,
Hello, elected officials.
the state's attorney. I'm assuming does lots of continuing ed.
Okay, this new officials workshop, isn't there at that date, or is it later on?
I sent the three commissioners your guys's, I didn't print yours out. I guess I
Okay,
don't
that's
know.
where I was confused.
Which one's them? Assistant one or assistant two?
Two.
I've seen that. Okay, it's the same day. The commissioners are the 9th and 10th also.
Yeah, let me know if anybody does want to go, because I'll book out hotel room.
Well, I don't know that I can go both days with calving, and so I will try my best to go at least one.
What day is that done?
Huh?
What day is that?
Wednesday, April 9th, and Thursday, April 10th. Arlen, while you're here, earlier this year, and I can't remember the dates, there was a meeting that we were supposed to take, and it got canceled, because I'd signed up for it online. Have you heard when that?
Incident command.
There you go.
That's ICS 402, and that's the email I sent you that you said was canceled. They're having one in Beetle County. I remember the dates, I'd have to look them up. And then there's a possibility they'll do a virtual one sometime this summer. They have the last
When
two
is
summers.
the one in Beetle County?
Yeah, I'd have to look back at the email. I
On
sent.
this month, February?
Okay.
Can't remember.
I
That's the last.
I get so
week of
many
February.
emails that I can't remember.
I'd be interested in that one in Beetle County. Because Tommy said, well, where's your certificate? And I said, I don't know.
And I don't know where it's at either.
So, you know what,
Yours
it's
is
been so long
down.
ago that I'm sure there's other things probably help me out too.
So it is down with stuff I got through the state that you have taken, I just don't have proof of it. So if you got a certificate or can find one,
Oh, you'd have to check it on the account.
I don't know where
Okay.
She won't give it to me.
I got it right here.
You know, I don't even think I got a certificate.
January 24th, 8 to noon,
That was last year's? Or is this going up this year?
this year.
January
Beetle,
24th.
yeah, Beetle County Highway Office.
That's a Friday.
Dave Jensen, the Beetle County EM, is putting that on. He's got several commissioners that need to
Okay,
get it. And
I will try it very hard.
So do we sign up or how do we sign up?
Yeah, it's on there, it says call by the 21st.
Okay. What, did I get an email too or just you?
I'm
Yeah,
good.
you got it, because you sent it back that
Okay, is that the one?
You-
All
you
right,
responded
Then
to.
I will.
Yeah. So.
that is probably the best one, because otherwise you can take 3 other classes. They're virtual, but you're gonna have
You don't.
4 or 5
Right.
hours into each one. This you can do it in 4 hours, and
Be done.
it takes it down to what you need to know. You don't,
Mhm.
they won't teach you all the stuff the responders need. The other
Mhm.
one's responders.
Okay. Okay. Okay, got it. So do we want to let our employees and elected officials talk to us, or how do you want to handle the salaries? Or,
Well, I don't think many of them wanna come up and promote me. I guess if they do, they can, but I think Mike Dot's Tanner should be getting 61,000.
well, and Tanner has given us his recommendations for his employees, and feel we need to follow Tanner's recommendations on his employees. Because
Which one,
he's
yeah, what did I heard you say, but I can't remember.
1% for Ben and 1% for Joe, 4% for Ben. Is what Tanner's recommendations were.
What percentage is that from Tanner from 56 to 61?
What's more than 6? Because what you gave us here,
8 something
that
probably.
61's even more than that.
He's done a lot of grants. The differential from what he gets paid to the guys that are just showing up for work isn't very big. And he can go get a job most anywhere for more than that probably.
Get
He
to
chose
Harold, we're
us.
traveling.
But he chose us.
That can change, doesn't it?
But he
can
chose
change.
us.
Yeah, he didn't sign no lifetime contract.
None of us did.
That's right. If you don't like it, you can quit, I guess.
I don't
You
want
can
it
get
to.
more. That's right.
I mean, the amount of grants has been phenomenal.
Well, we could have been getting them all along. Come on, guys, you know?
It
So I
takes
appreciate-
time to
well,
need it.
you
It
know,
takes time
time-
to look into
Well, you know
things.
what? I understand that, okay?
Okay.
That's not the problem. I didn't say there was a problem. It's just your clarification of why you think it should be not there. And you're right, it does take time. So I agree with you as far as his employees, and we pay him to do his department,
Mhm.
so I don't have a problem with that.
You're talking the 1% and the 4%?
Well, that was the recommendation. We don't micromanage, we have him. So there's two of them. How do you want to handle things?
Well, I think we need to start and do the highway superintendent and then just move down.
Okay.
Or
I did have a, this is the one for department heads. This is our approved one, I believe. Because we didn't change much.
Mhm.
Okay, all right. That's how you want to do it.
Can I see that please to me? I didn't.
Sure.
Like
I went
said,
back, I went back and got mine.
Yeah. Like I said, we tag teamed this morning because we had a grandbaby because our daughter's in Sioux Falls. So. So do you, second Rex's on Hannah's or you want a discussion or?
Well, what we have here's current. What she gave us before was the projected. So I don't remember what did I do with that? This is that one that we got, what was it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I don't think,
And that I believe is 6%. Is that what she was?
I think so.
Yes. Mhm.
Lee, would you make sure she does the small, does the small on your Keurig? So it doesn't overflow.
That's pretty common, really, that cover cup.
Yeah, don't know about.
And I do feel maybe you should have the treasurer in during this time, just so everybody's aware of what's going on. Just as a, I know.
Just have a seat
So,
when we get to you.
sorry, guys.
The state only gives like 1.5%.
Yeah, but they've been giving 5% yearly.
Percent last
We didn't give nothing because we went into the retirement.
Retirement deal last year.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
You gotta be retired.
That was my
If I can say one thing on retirement, so when highway department gets their retirement check, theirs is way more than what ours is, so they, let's say it's $400 typically for what they get. Ours is less than that, or if it's 200, we only get about 160 a month put into retirement to where they get additional into, it goes by wages. So when you put wages in towards retirement, you get a little bit more, he gets, I think, a little bit more than that because the sheriff gets it more. But for the rest of us, it's less, it goes by your
You
payroll.
mean our match to it, because you can put in more than what we give you.
Anybody can
Yeah,
do
well,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying the bare minimum of what's going on is ours is
You
way
know, Deb,
less.
Took me 24 years to get retirement.
So-
I'm
I'm just putting what's fair is fair across board, so.
No charge for the one.
Well, I would say if you plan on giving everybody else 6%, 10 you should give what I think.
I agree.
Because of, and why do you think it should be more? We
Well,
all are doing grants, we all are doing, it's just been part of what we've been doing.
right,
We haven't tooted our horn or tried to come and say, we've gotten this or this.
no,
Nobody's come into any of our offices trying to say, to look at what we've done or anything else, we've just done it. And so I guess I'm curious on if the commissioners could tell me why.
well,
The higher rate.
when we've had for an instance, when we had the flood this summer, at 9, 10 o'clock at night, he was out driving all the roads and checking all the roads at 9 and 10 o'clock. And, you know, you guys are home and safe, and he's not. You know, the snow plow's gotta get out. He's out there, whether it's during his regular hours or not. The physical part of it, and believe me, I've for 60 years have thought I could, and I have walked side by side with my husband, but I've got a body that's showing it. And I'm not as strong as a man is. You know, and you know, we had the openings, and you guys could have all ran to that position because we all knew what the amounts were coming into it. I guess that's kind of how I feel. Danita and Rex, I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, I'm right with you, but yeah, the thing is, I don't know where the 6% came up at, but. I would
Tanner
say-
initiated
I know
that.
where it came up, because when we did our budgets, you don't know how anything's gonna go, so I threw in just across the board, assuming 6% would cover everything, and I'm never gonna probably walk up to you and say I want it. You know,
And
so
we-
that's where I threw that in at, and everybody just kinda used it and ran with it, with whatever, but
Right there.
gotta have something budgeted for raises, and I have to have extra in there for overtime for those guys. Had there be, last year we never paid an hour overtime, but hopefully we don't, but that's why that is.
And
where it is.
I do know, and I can't remember if it's Lyman or Buffalo or Brule, gave a 4%, what am I,
Highway,
huh?
highway,
Cost of living raise across the board for their employees. The last 2 years. So,
so
Have
the
they had their-
6%
they
that
probably
we
had
put in
their,
there, that's in the budget now?
Oh, that's where they put money
Since that
away,
one was-
the
retirement.
retirement.
We were the only one that did not have retirement ever.
I appreciate everything you do, you know that.
Yeah.
I support a lot of the things you do. but I'm in favor of a 6% straight across the board. Not saying that you don't deserve more, but I think right now, coming off of last year when we opened up that retirement, that really took a lot out of us. And we're back on track, you know? But I support a 6% straight across the board, along with his, Portage Highway.
And
Six.
the 1 and the 4 on top of that, you're saying?
Well, that's his decision.
But that'd
We
be
don't-
on top of the 6.
No,
You said we didn't
No.
micromanage.
no,
No.
He does.
No,
this.
you guys already approved, right, them two,
right,
correct? So
right.
they're out. She's saying everybody else, if I am understanding you correct.
right.
Except the election board.
Yeah.
Trying to,
Well,
But I'd like
I'm
those
talking
to
about
remain
our
the same.
employees.
so this would be for
Elected-
the
elected
commissioners,
officials.
yeah,
Elected
highway
officials.
superintendent, and their,
Isn't that, and that's what we looked at and you presented to us when we did the budget.
correct.
So are you proposing, may I speak?
Yes,
Are you, I can't hear you real well. Are you proposing 6% across the board for everybody except his two other employees? Is that what you just said?
We've already approved his.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, we've approved his already.
that was his recommendations.
Okay. I just have a thought. It's just fleeting across here with Tanner. Tanner's already on the roads. He drives the roads. He sees everything. He can identify weeds. Why don't you give him the weed board money, whatever it is? Because I know last year, when they come to spray the weeds along the roads, my husband stopped and he talked to Ben, and Ben was very nice and cordial. And he said to him, Ben, why are you guys spraying weeds now? You have missed the boat. The time frame for these weeds should have been sprayed 2 weeks ago, 10 days to 2 weeks ago. At which time they told us, they said, we didn't have the parts. We needed a tank or something or other, but it never got ordered. The ball got dropped. So I'm saying, if you had the same person that was spraying be accountable for the parts and all of this stuff, the job might have got done and the weeds might have been dead. But right now, you wasted some spray.
We also saved ourselves some money too, because we were contracting out big time.
Oh, yeah, I
And
get
then we
that.
turned up hiring these guys, we've already got their spraying, so that
Perfect.
saved us money too, and I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Perfect. But I'm just saying, it only makes sense. Give him the, whatever the amount is. I don't know, is it $1,000 or 2,500, whatever it is.
Well, that's something right now we can't discuss because it's not on the agenda.
Okay, all right. It's just a thought. I'm just saying, if he wants more money, right there, you can give him some more money.
But it also takes on more responsibility, you're telling me.
Well,
But
he's
he's to
not.
be-
He's
well,
still got that responsibility. He's out there driving it.
Well, he's out there driving it, but we've got the GIS system. We ask him, if you see a weed someplace, let us know where it is. Otherwise, you pay somebody else mileage to go down the same thing they're doing. You know, and all it is just a map on the touch point. So that's why that's, so yeah, if weed supervisor was driving all the time,
He can't spray.
no, he can't, but we got two in the highway department that do, and we knew that when we
No, we've
hired
only
them.
got
That's-
one certified.
One now.
Yeah, Ben's the only certified one that can spray.
But when Ben does spray, we clock him out and he goes to the other, so just so everybody understands.
Right.
And that spraying can be done after hours, so that, or it could be on weekends, you know?
And so the other part,
The
what
way
he
I'm
does.
doing it is Ben sprays whenever the weather allows. We come in at 5 in the morning and get him loaded and get him on the road. And if it has to be a Saturday, I don't know
Well,
if we
I'm
did
just
last
saying, if
year.
it has to be.
We didn't, but I
That's
think
what I'm
last
saying.
year we actually had good going, except the truck broke down again.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Well,
when
that's
it
right.
comes
We
to
need to
spraying,
do
Ben, he goes when he has to go.
And then I just want to make, so when you're the weed supervisor, it's more of the administrative type things that go along with it. I don't care who does it, but it's an administrative aspect of things. It isn't spraying the weeds. It is
Right.
doing the,
Paperwork.
yeah, and going to the trainings and getting the grants. I mean, that's a $10,000 grant.
But he, you know,
So-
we saved a lot of money when we did hire these guys, and I appreciate the fact they were here.
Right,
Because everything that we had in that grant went to a contractor.
Well, basically Tanner's handling everything except filling out the grant form or whatever and going to the meeting.
No.
Mhm.
Tanner,
When he's out there, like Carol said, when he's out there on the road and he's talking to Ben or whatever, and then they can line up ahead of time. I think if he take the job, we'll take the
That's
money.
what we were saying, that you should ask him if he wants to. I mean, you
Well,
know,
does he want to get
we
rid
had
of it?
asked people
Well,
if they had an interest.
Right now,
Rude.
right now, I don't think this is the time
Talk about
to
it.
be
No.
discussing it because
Exactly.
it's not on the agenda.
I'm sorry. I was just
This is,
trying to
it's not on the agenda at this point, so it's not something that we can make a decision on.
I agree with you.
What Anita was talking about, I thought I should be able to say my
Well, you
piece.
started it.
It's fine, but I'm just saying, we've got, if it's not on our agenda, it's
I
not.
realize that. I take all my words away. Just
Thank you.
scratch them from the records.
So,
and I don't think the tank ever did hold us up from spraying. As Tanner
Wasn't
said,
it
the
a
truck
nozzle
broke
or
down.
something?
No,
Wasn't
the
there a
truck,
nozzle? 'Cause we
bearing
got
on the
nozzles
truck.
or something too, didn't we? I
The
thought
tank never, I mean, the tank looked like it was gonna leak, so we replaced it.
Done what the means are,
Yeah.
right?
It was
Yes.
the bearings on the,
We gotta figure out this here deal.
yeah. So we've got a motion on the board for Rex, and we got a motion on the floor from Danita.
I withdraw mine because that ain't enough if everybody else, you guys plan on giving everybody 6%?
That's what we're trying to decide, buddy.
Well,
Where you been?
I'm saying Tanner should be above and beyond.
Yes, Susan?
If you're talking 6% for everybody, even like for the auditor registered deeds, after she sent out that report that was wrong, and that's not the only time, I don't know how you can justify the accountants and paying extra for that.
Maybe we ought to give her 8%. Damn, I like that.
Well, I'm
People
not
are big
gonna
ears.
give an answer.
Let me see that paper. I want to see what big of a deal it was. What's the big deal? Did we lose money on it?
It isn't a report, but
Well, so what's the big deal?
I don't know.
Then we come to Janice.
$1,600 for what now?
Janice should be getting a boost for being here for as long as she's
How
had.
many times she got a training?
She's done her job for 30 years or
How many
whatever.
times she go to training?
I don't
We
care.
missed out on a kiosk, you know? We finally got a tracker so we could use money cards now. Thank God. We used to have to bring money order or a check all the time.
What's that got to do with
A lot,
what she's getting
a
paid?
lot, a lot. Bring it into the 25th century.
Training doesn't
Yeah,
guarantee
it does.
anything.
Well, just because you get a job or you get a title, that doesn't mean you know everything about that position
She's
either.
been doing it for 30 years. That's
Well,
she's
in
got a-
retrospect, I get paid nothing for the registered deeds, if that helps out.
That was part of the job when you took the office.
Right.
So land transfers, what's this got to do?
Well, add up the figures.
Yeah, I can fix that, that's right. What year was that? 2023?
Yeah,
22, through the year 2022.
well, sometimes I feel with the way that Deb is treated, that she deserves a 10% raise.
Is that a motion?
I can't make them. You know, we can all sit back there and we can all say this, that, and the other thing. But when that job came open as, we needed it, when the last person threw her papers down and threw a fit and walked out of here, I didn't see any of you step in to want to take the job. And, but we can all sit back and we can all criticize. And I've done my fair share of wrong things through the years, but I'm person enough to say I've done them. And I'd have a chip on my shoulder if I was Deb. I commend her for even staying here. And if she leaves, I don't know who the hell will come in.
We already ran one off.
We've run more than one off. There's been more than one run off.
And
That's such a minute thing in my world, so.
In response to your comment, Dawn, I will say this. Anyone that would run for an office or would assume or, take a hire for a job like this would certainly expect that they should behave in a professional manner.
I'll agree, and our last one didn't when she threw her papers down and stormed out the door.
Well, maybe she didn't when she left, but she did when she came. However, I still say that if you're gonna be here, then you should at least be professional
And she was when she
and be
came.
pleasant to the people that come.
And she was when she came. Until she became treated.
Well, even then, I mean, if you don't like it, then go. If you can't take it, then go.
She's
But if you're
taken
gonna
it.
be here, be decent.
Then maybe the people coming in should be decent.
well,
There's a
you know,
reason why
people
are
people
coming
voted.
to this
You
Now
can say
there's
anything
about-
you want. People have voted. She's here. Okay?
There's the same 3 or 4 people that come in. I've called around in my district. I've asked about the newspaper. How many of you read the Buffalo County vouchers? And they go, where's it at? I don't even get the paper. But yet we get a piece of paper. We need to change this.
Who'd you ask?
Who do I ask? I'm not gonna give you any names because I don't need you calling up everybody.
I'm not going to call everybody. I'm just saying, did you ask anybody or did you just say you did?
No, I did. I've talked to several of my neighbors. So I have,
Didn't call me.
well, because you're the one that brought us the revision, so to speak.
Oh my God, was that terrible?
I don't know, we've had it like it was for God knows how many years, and we get a complaint.
Tell me this, honestly, what can you tell when you read the way that they are printed now?
I don't read it, because I
Anybody-
sign them,
Well, anybody that did read it.
Brule County's is the same,
I don't care what Brule County does,
and maybe I don't care what Jerome County does.
but here's the thing. You have taxpayers out there, you're printing that supposedly for that reason. I mean, why else would you print it in the paper?
Well,
I
if
know
they
it's-
don't know total
I know it's a
oil is
legal
gas.
responsibility, but there's a reason, okay?
Steve,
So
we actually
tell them
do
something. Tell them what the amount is, tell them who it's to and what it's for. How hard is that?
I like your drawing.
All these years.
Make a big deal over
I'm
absolutely
not making a
one
big
little
deal out of
thing.
anything.
Not at
I've
all.
not raised my
I asked-
voice, I've thought I've handled it very professionally and in a nice manner.
I don't know.
One thing about why people don't read the paper. And some of them say,
Yeah.
well, we elect our commissioners and they're supposed to be keeping an eye on stuff. And that's why a lot of people don't come to the meetings, so that's neither here or there.
What we have to print, the
Yeah.
difference between-
Also, Carol called some people to see if they were gonna come to the meeting today, and they said they didn't wanna come because they didn't wanna get labeled. Because if you go to the meeting and you complain, you get labeled. So, gee, complainer.
So what is our consensus here, you guys?
Well, we didn't give a cost wage increase because of the retirement fund. And so that was supposed to be their increase. So why should we give 6% when the cost of living only went up 1.5 to 2%?
No, it's went up about 4.
I mean, what the state said.
Do you believe that shit?
I believe that as much as I believe you.
It's going federal next, so. But I can't tell what cost of living was 4%.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Look it up.
I know she didn't do very much, caused a lot of stuff. Wish she did. Becomes, last July, she gave me 1.91%. And effective July 1st of this year, it's 1.71. That's for the retirement. It's not the COLA. It's, and that's for South Dakota. Okay, cost of living for social security and supplemental income, the COLA for that is 2.5. You get more than the state employees. What else is up there?
So did you come up with 4?
No,
Uh,
1.9 and 1.7 in a year and a half. That's
2 years.
Yeah.
3.6. in 2 years.
3.2 between 3.41 in 2024 was the average cost of living
South Dakota,
nationwide.
yeah. You got your coast and stuff and that.
Well, you think you farmers got it easier than them, or what?
No, the cost, what do you hear about the cost of house in California and stuff?
Well, that's
People that come out here and buy 3 houses. for what
You
they
heard
sell
what
them.
Rapid City and Sioux Falls have done? My daughter sold her place for over 3 times what she paid for it in New Underwood, South Dakota.
Oh, that's good for her. It's going like
Is
crazy
it,
out
is it
there.
close to that solar farm?
Other side of the interstate, the acreage was.
All right, guys. So even the 6% is higher than the COLA. So are you saying you want to go COLA? What you said? I said 4, but then you were talking COLA, which is what, 1.7 or something?
Yep.
Is that your motion?
Then Tanner, well, she took up one part of it. She should have extra. How you want to do that? So much for everybody and extra for Tanner?
No,
So you don't feel he should get
I
it
didn't
extra?
say that. I think what we do for one, we have to do for all, because they're all in that situation right now.
That ain't, you've never hired anybody and paid them out of your checkbook, have you?
Do I want to?
Have you?
Do I
Have
want
you?
to?
Have
Do
you?
I want to?
I don't care if you
Okay,
want
well
to.
then what difference does it make?
Experience, they always talk about experience.
I have.
And you just give everybody working a flat raise. When this guy's doing a lot of extra work and this guy, and so you give everybody the
now-
same raise.
Okay, Tanner, your
Yeah.
grants, the grants that you're working on, that seems to be, who's helping you with those grants?
Josh from IMAG or myself.
We're paying Josh,
Huh?
and we're paying Josh out of contract, so then what?
Um,
How are we paying Josh?
It ain't been hardly anything at all.
Not yet, I understand. Because
That's
that's the
because we've
business of-
given him, that had nothing to do with it. All that was studies from other shit.
Yeah.
He has not hardly sent a thing. So when I got a question, that's who I call.
Then a lot of the engineering comes out of the grants.
Then they get the, you know, that's why they,
After we get the
he's
grants.
helping me is to
Yeah.
get the business in the end.
Yeah.
But as far as sending me a bill for filling out one,
That's good. No, I understand,
don't have.
I want to make that clear.
I'm gonna throw another wrench into this
Mm-hmm.
deal, because if you're gonna talk everybody straight across the board, that's totally up to you guys. I don't feel very confident about the recommendations I just did then,
Well,
because I know if I was them, I'd probably exit
exactly.
right now.
What about the
Not
rest
to
of
throw a
us?
wrench in your plan or anything, I'm just saying, I know. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that, I guess. I don't care what you do, I'm just saying, you might want to back up there if, to something, I don't know. Not saying it's right or wrong either, but need more time than 5 minutes about it.
Well, I'm not gonna go along with the 1.5.
So then he recommended 4.1, how about we just do 4, compromise and go 4?
Yeah. I might go along with that one.
There's other ways we can do benefits later on, just. if you're here. Well, then I'll make another motion then, since my first one died and yours died too. I'll move that we increase by 4%.
Everybody,
Elected officials.
now when you made your recommendations.
Usually second it, and then you discuss it.
That 1% and 4%.
Well, I evaluated them, you guys got the sheets and the performance and their knowledge of the job and the know-how. That's why I recommended it that way.
But now you're just talking everybody but the highway department.
And highway department guy,
Speak up, please.
come closer.
And the highway department, she said. So then what we did for Ben, then we gotta rescind that motion or
We
something.
already did it.
No, I just never, okay.
I thought
Let me just try to,
Somebody said we did.
let me just try to make this work easier for you guys, okay?
Thank you.
Here's how the thing's supposed to work. Somebody makes a motion, if it's not seconded, it dies.
We don't discuss it.
You gotta get a second, okay?
We discuss.
Now, if it gets a second, that doesn't mean that it's going ahead, that just means now we can talk about it.
Mhm.
Now we can talk about it. So let's say, for instance, in this case, we have a 4% motion, we get a second, that doesn't mean we're gonna vote for it, that just means we wanna talk about it. Now, somebody else could say, I wanna amend that motion of 4%, I wanna amend it to whatever, 4% except the highway guys get 1% and 4% like you recommend. And then that needs a second, okay? So let's say somebody does second that, all right? So now what you've got is, you can talk about that some more, and you can have other amendments. You then would go and vote on the second thing first, the deal that said, we're gonna do 4% except the highway's doing different. And if that passes, then the first thing doesn't need to get voted on because it got amended, you got changes, okay? So, just because you second something doesn't mean I'm even gonna vote for it. It just means, let's talk, okay?
So we haven't done
But
that.
you don't have to second it either. You could just never second it, and then somebody else can make a different motion. Then we wait and see if that gets a second, okay? The whole idea is to get enough support, at least two people, that have some support, doesn't mean they're gonna vote for it. So you can talk. So, and then do talk, guys. That's the idea of this, is to discuss, not to say, you know, I often throw motions on the table, meetings I'm at, just to get things going. Otherwise, you all sit here and do nothing. So,
Did we vote on that, the first?
you don't have to vote on that first one yet. You don't have to, and you haven't yet, because did that 4%, okay.
The
Did
one and the
The
four?
1% to 4%, you guys did not.
Nobody made a second, right? So they've died. They've
We
died
haven't
right
done
now.
nothing.
There's nothing on the table right now.
We didn't even second it, that's why all this discussion has not been moved, because we don't have discussion.
We're trying to work our way to something that we get some support for. That's what we're trying to
Well,
do.
you did
So,
already.
and don't take it personal when somebody doesn't like your motion or doesn't, whatever. It's just, we're trying to get there.
They're not walking away, Tim. They're not leaving.
I don't know if that's helpful or not, but
So right now you have a motion out there for 4%.
but we're,
And then,
No second.
but there wasn't a second yet.
right,
So we either gotta get a second or we gotta,
so you have a 4%, a 1%, and a 4%, technically.
but none of them have got seconds.
So they're
So
not,
you got,
Nothing,
right now we got nothing
So
going.
the motion was a flat 4 across the board,
yeah, except for,
except for that.
For the two that, unless Tanner wants to,
We'll just go,
if you want to change your recommendations, this would be the time to,
well, I did it for, no, I don't. I did it for my guys and that's what I think. So I guess I'm staying behind.
okay.
thank you.
I have got to go this rest, I'm sorry.
Ben was.
Oh, yeah. Go for 911. Okay. Okay.
Here, all fell out and came back in very quickly. I mean, it was very like that all.
Thank you. We've never had a contract. Must have. Oh, wait, that's, so you never had a contract.
What?
That was 911 in Mitchell.
We never did have a
We never
contract
had a
with them.
contract with them. Since she's been there 26, I said, well, I've been here 23, and I know.
Okay, well, that's what we were told, so.
So we found that out.
Yeah.
I think so. What it is you're thinking, Rex?
What?
What are you thinking?
Well, if you're set on this 4%, Tanner should get an additional 7% above that. And Janice about 3.5% additional.
Make that motion.
So you're saying Janice should get 7.5%?
And this one's got 7 over the 4 that's already there. That's
Tanner gets
11%.
11%. If you want to go percent.
I won't second that.
That's what I said, make that motion. Again, I want to reiterate my motion for 4% straight across the board for all our highway employees.
That would be up to you two, because I ain't going for that.
Well, I'd like to see, Tanner with a little bit more right now than the 4. Because I've seen the extra that's been done.
Well, then the other ones also have put up with a lot of, you know what, too, so. That's why I'm saying it should be straight across the board right now.
You're always speaking of the evaluations. You don't take evaluations into account, I take it.
Performance and knowing more about what your business is about, yeah,
So Tanner don't.
I didn't say that.
Well, then you should
What do
be
you,
warning.
well, don't you think he's, well,
Janice
I really
is-
wish you'd go to training so I'd have, be able to talk to you guys.
I wish you'd have to pay somebody once in more than one person so you can tell when there's a difference in people and what they're doing in this. Maybe you would understand.
You look like a duck, man.
Thank you, Anita. I appreciate that.
Thank you. We need some discussion or we're gonna be here all night. We're
Or
almost-
table it.
Steve, can we go into executive session?
No, you can't, whenever you're talking about employees.
Okay. Let's go into executive session,
I'll move.
2:43.
Second. executive session.
Yes, but
Dawn, you want to come get me when you're done? Because I would like to speak as well.
Okay, I will.
You can just turn the lights on in there, you guys, if you want. Doesn't matter.
Ain't tough, Rick.
I'm going to work.
The sun is not
It does.
Don't you dare leave me.
Yeah. They did buy an economic corporation, but they said that once the editor passed away, they're done. So,
And get a lot more. So,
Better shut off your recording.
yeah.
Oh,
They have a lot that support. So that's.
They don't put it on the ads, but it takes ads.
Yeah.
2 years ago,
We're gonna get
But when it gets to the tree, when they're done,
we're gonna get $1,000 raise.
It's-
They're gonna get
you know,
$600.
and it's additional units.
Yeah.
It's just, it's very tasty.
Yeah.
Because you're gone and then.
You don't have a right to
It's
know that.
made.
Because this is legal, this is all it's required.
That's a percentage.
Yeah.
And then say like 0.1.
No, I think
For longevity. So every year you say.
We would have to get a new policy and procedure.
They used to.